Hello, everyone. This is a grumpy old guy gaming. It is October, and that means it's time once again to check in with the online area server tour. Here we go. So, heading into the lobby here, we'll go ahead and check out all of the online servers available today, making exceptions where we have to for areas that may not have the ports forwarded correctly or may just be having technical issues allowing connections. From the looks of it, we have about 8 servers to get through, so let's just head right into Hongik University Station and run them right down the list. See that level 99 there? This is actually a crab server clone. It's got item translations by Dow, which I'll explain more of in the moment. Of course, this is a level 99 server, which means it can generate up to the highest level fields, being level 98, but there's plenty of lower level fields to offer. Additionally, Netslum is our root town, so as we look through, going to see our item shop is going to offer us some very potent and very costly items. Could get healing elixirs and emperor's souls here. Of course, your usual assortment of antidote, restorative, resurrect, fortune wire, sprite ocarina, and fairy's orb to go with your blood items to help out with your physical and magical stats. The spell shop up here is going to offer speed charms, always useful, along with divine crosses for a party-wide heal, at least if you're all in close proximity. The warriors, knights, hunters, banes to perhaps nullify tolerances that monsters have, along with some level 1 and level 2 summon scrolls. Heading over to the weapons, we will see an assortment of very powerful gear here. You're going to see weapons in the 40s and 50s as far as level go. And some level 70-ish armor choices. You'll also notice that a good bit of this is themed for the earth element. So good earth elemental gear there. Of course, our item storage hanging out right there on the near wall. And when we get to the Chaos Gate, I want to show you exactly what I'm talking about with translations. Dow was nice enough to go in and do some translating work, but if you go into the keywords, they kind of just look like words in Japanese, which they very much are. This being the crab server, all of the keywords are in Japanese because the crab team created this server when it was a live service in Japan as a video game. They figured out through brute force and a little manipulation within the area server program how to design custom fields that present the possibility of the god statue offering potential rare items. It's not a guarantee, but there is a chance of specific rares coming out of certain fields. So let's go ahead and warp into one that I found earlier while I was botching this very video badly. As you can see, it's a level 57 fire field, but when we warp in, you'll notice something a little bit special and unique to custom fields when we get in. And this is really where Dow's handiwork comes in. If you go to Crab, the same message will more or less appear, but the Maiden's Plot, Jushuin, and the thanks to Spooky for finding this stuff probably won't be in Crab. But the 2 items will also be in Japanese. Dow was nice enough to head in here and translate these to English. So if you can't read Japanese, you've got at least a better understanding of what you're searching for before you hit into the dungeon. If you've never run a farming dungeon before, these fields are completely empty because the statue chest item generation is decided, I think, more or less by the amount of experience points or something to that effect gained within the run itself. So certain monsters are grouped together throughout this dungeon, and if you clear them to certain specifications, there's the chance that certain items may drop. Let's gate out, head back. I believe that's all I have for Hongik University Station, so let's go ahead back to the lobby and see the next server. And back in the lobby here, right below Hongik University Station, is Aromatom, level 12 server. We will head in there next. Take a moment to connect. So you can see the word Aromatom coming up there. It says, hosted by a fragment friend for you. Of course, those of us who've been around a while know more or less exactly who that is. And if not, ask around. I'm sure you'll find out. You may have met this person already. Dunloriag is the server they are hosting on. It's got your nice little clouds, got your little kites flying in the wind there. See a little boarded up shop over that way. Well, supposed to be a shop. Doesn't look like there's actually a way in, just sort of a stone wall. But it does a nice job of making this area look really, really expansive, which kind of backfires a little and makes it feel like the area you're in is rather condensed. All the same, you're talking the second root town of the game, so when we look at the weapons shop here, you've got some lower level stuff, but not super low level. We're still in single digits, but you get a chance to see some fun items appear with some fun abilities, like Executioner and Slayer, that both have the death touch effect. So at lower levels, this is a good spot to come once you've got a little extra gold if you're looking for certain weapons to give you a bit of a boost in combat. Still looking at higher single digit to low teens in the levels of the armor. This being one of the even numbered servers, being Dunloriag and Port Oof. You could expect the elemental banes to show up in the magic shop along with our speed charm. Light Cross is our curative item for here. And then you've got some level 1 scrolls to look through. Make our way up the wooden plank bridges that don't look too sturdy, but I have yet to fall off, thanks to invisible walls mainly. Past the ferry storage there to the item shop. Here we've got our pretty standard selection. You're going to see basically the same items that you see in a Mac Anu root town server. Health drinks, mages, souls, of course, antidote, restorative, and the rest through like a typical item shop would have. Another thing I would like to point out, and this isn't so much an online thing, but in case you're newer to Fragment or looking to play it for the first time and you're wondering when you could raise grunties, it's just like an infection. When you see this town in offline mode, you can come right in, use the grunty foods you've been getting both online and off, and raise some grunties of your own. And they'll be available just like in Infection, Mutation, Outbreak, and Quarantine in Dunloriag, Carmina, Gadalika, Fort Oof, and Netslum, as they would have normally been. Of course, the Grunty Ranch will be populated with the Grunty Rancher and the baby Grunties like normal. In online, it's empty because you can't raise them here. You could use them in fields, but you can't raise them online. Let's head back up and check out the keywords real quick. And when we activate the gate, pull up the keywords. You can see, once again, there is chronicling, still in its original Japanese. Then you have deaths, tried, my, their, her, his, surrounded, careful, supported, impressive, and colorful for the A words. Complete, confused, tired, unloaded, loving, relieved, loud, churned, coronated, sweet, and quiet. Let's go with colorful, tired, harbinger, silence, creation, surprise, butter, love, care, comfort, bird, chick, and mother. Colorful, tired, butter. It's a weird set of words that generate a level 14 wood field. I'm not going to run it now. Let me know if you do. That's going to do it for Aromatom. Let's head back out to the lobby and check out our next server. Alright, popping back into the lobby. See, I'm trying to spice up the interval in which I stop, and come back. So it doesn't feel so mundane to you by the time this is all said and done. Up next, we're going from a level 12 server to a level 13 server and checking out Digital World, hosted by Zachmon. The Digital World work in progress, and as someone who's tried their hand at area servers before, I could tell you they're always works in progress. Is set in Carmina Gadalica, so you get some lovely nighttime sort of ambience here. See the lit up city buildings in the background. Gonna run all the way out here to the docks and see if we can't just track down that airship. There it is, coming left to right on the screen, and I'm assuming it's an airship because, as you can see in the clearly reflective metallic jello waters, that needle at the bottom never actually does dip in. Got a number of propellers working to keep it aloft, despite not working super hard. They're moving very slowly, and that looks like a very heavy ship, even if all of that is air-filled. But hey, I'm not a magical airship yacht designer, so maybe it's all sound. If you are, feel free to let me know. We'll hit the magic shop first, as it's the thing I am running directly at. And we are back to our knights, warriors, hermits, beasts, yada yada banes to go with some Hail Cross. That's going to heal at about the 400 hit point level, as the description below says. Speed charms as always, and a nice selection of level 2 scrolls to get you through those nasty enemies that are just too evasive physically to deal with on a regular basis by mashing the old circle button. Opposite the item storage is the item shop here, and the item shop is going to be the first place in the game's progression where you can buy healing potions and artisan souls. So if you find your mage's soul and health drinks just aren't doing enough, this is where you get your first upgrade. That said, artisan souls do cost 1,500 apiece, so mage's soul still left as an option, as it will be in the entirety of the root towns, just in case you're running low on the gold and still need an item to restore your SP. Usual items to follow in the list, of course, as they will be in all shops. Weapon shop here is kind of unique. I should say the gear shop, as it provides weapons and armor. It's just fun to say weapon shop, which is why the game says it itself. Here you can see you're picking up items in the low teens and upward, with some exceptions for some low-level rares. Here is the Spiral Edge, so if you're looking to do a Natsume cosplay, look no further than a Carmina Gadalica Root Town server for your Spiral Edge. No awkward propositioning of other twin blades required to get this rare item. Also have the Katetsu sword here. Personal plug for myself, I have a heavy blade character on my second memory card, and Katetsu sword got me through quite a few low-level dungeons. It gives a nice little bonus to the magical attack while being a fairly accurate hitter at low levels. Just a fantastic item for you while you're sort of getting your character set. Moving through, you've still got low teens for the weapons otherwise. And then we're into the level 30 range for gear, which means you're seeing a lot of thunder armor, a lot of thunder element gear, and possibly the coolest named foot gear of all time, ninja socks. Socks that kill stealthily in the night, laced until they go through the wash. Let's back up to the gate because I just can't do anything in an efficient manner in a server tour, and check out the keywords. Going to warn you in advance, this may come as a surprise, I don't know that much about Digimon, so I'm going to at least attempt not to botch some of these words as badly as I did the first time. We have Chronicling once again set in Japanese next to Digi and Tamer for your A words. B words, very simple and straightforward. Tama, Crest, World, Farm, and I'm assuming this is supposed to read X-Cross or X-Ross or just Cross. Feel free to let me know which two of those were just awful. Then you've got a whole ton of C words to choose from here. Courage, friendship, love, knowledge, purity, sincerity, hope, light, kindness, miracles, and destiny. So, Tamer, Impossible Word, Destiny will get you a level 14 Earth Field. I'm pulling all the level 14s here, aren't I? Got a level 57 on Hongik, in all fairness. If I would have random worded a level 14 there, then we know it would have been Fate. Or maybe Destiny. Okay, I feel that was an awkward enough pun. Nobody really laughed at that. I appreciate you pausing for that silence, though. Back to the lobby we go. Hitting the halfway point here at the lobby, and we are pretty much at the granddaddy of them all as far as chronology goes. This is the Crab server. It has had several hosts over several iterations over several years. This one in particular, I believe, is hosted by Overmaster. There you go. There's the website that Overmaster has set up for it. One thing that hasn't changed is the contents of Crab server itself. Of course, identical to Hongik, we're in the Netslum root town. So we've already covered the shops. There isn't much else to check out here. And we've already covered the keywords to an extent, but I do want to go back to that Jishuen dungeon, which is going to take me a moment to find the keywords, just to sort of show you the difference between the two servers. May take me a minute more than I thought. There we go. Number 3 has that sort of birdhouse looking middle symbol. Yes, I'm terrible with this and I can't read these. But I just sort of look at them, sort of make the pictures up in my head and look for those similar looking things. 57 Firefield is what we got last time through. And if we warp there, we should still get a message at the beginning, but you'll see exactly where Dao's hard work went into effect. Yep. Now you just have two options, and if you, like me, cannot read that, you just have to get the whole way to the end where the item itself is translated in the base translation. It's because that message is part of the area server program and not part of the base game. So just something to keep in mind there. That said, if you find one list for Crab, it is good for Hongik and vice versa. And they should also both work in just about any other Crab clone for the vast majority of dungeons, because they should be virtually identical. Let's head back here. I know that seems like a brief tour, but technically we've been here before and perhaps may just be here again. So we are going to bid a swift but fond adieu to the Crab server and move on to our next area server. Coming back from the main splash page, And keeping our weird area server fixation with seafood going, we've got some mackerel coming up. One of the two servers hosted by V. Longtime member of the community, also a heck of a speedrunner. Holy mackerel indeed. We are back in Dunloriag, which means I get yet another server free of touring the shops. Just going to take a look around for the sake of content. Hit that nice little lens flare there. Isn't that wonderful? So if you were looking for like a selfie angle, probably something, get the lens flare just off to the side like that. See it shining right on the weapon. There you go. Put the lens flare right between me and the weapon. Hit our resting pose, so all of that measurement was for nothing. But it's still a pretty good angle. When those clouds clear up, you got a nice shot there. Now that I'm done goofing around, let's check out what makes Mackerel super special, and that is above and beyond the keywords. Starting with the A words, you're going to notice that they kind of went whole fish with the theme here. I was going to say whole hog, and even though that is the proper sort of term for this, if you're looking for a colloquial way to say it, it just doesn't feel very thematic, does it? So we've got golden, briny, wet, churning, slimy, ew. Salty, crispy, delicious, smelly, ew. Iridescent, gullible. Guileable? Yeah, I guess it's gullible. Curious, finned, bony, cold, scaly, slippery, oily, fat, tiny, largest, frozen, wild, urgent, and spicy. What? Go with holy, sashimi, raw, smoked, grilled, baked, roasted, buttered, toasted, sandwiched, steamed, poached, sautéed, seared, stewed, battered, broiled, microwaved, deep fried, ceviche, salted, and dried. Wet dried. That sounds fantastic. And then you get to the C words, which are all different fish. Starting from the eponymous mackerel to salmon, catfish, betta, tuna, fillet, anchovy, shark, clownfish, eel, goldfish, haddock, halibut, herring, koi, trout, loach, marlin, perch, quillfish, sturgeon, sardine, snapper, yellowtail, pike, and the infamous whale shark. If you've never run a whale shark dungeon, grab some friends, have a ball, wet-dried whale shark. Give it a go. It's only level 25. We've gone up a whole 11 levels, me musing here. But that is the wonderfully fishy world of whale shark, and a nice simple way of looking at it there. Let's go ahead, dip back out, and hit our next server, huh? So coming down the list here from Mackerel to V's Place, the other V's servers, as you can tell because the name's right on the plate, we are going to be heading to yet another familiar locale. Back to Carmina Gadalica we come, and of course there will be no difference in the shops here. But if we check these words out, you may see something kind of useful and kind of fun. The A words are going to start out with your basic custom words that are in an area server when you boot it up for the first time. The pre-generated words: bursting, hidden, expansive, boundless, closed, quiet, plenteous, collapsed, cursed, buried, lonely, great, chosen, discovered, indiscreet, putrid, hideous. I believe at some point here we may have moved into some words that were in the games already but were added in by V. Soft, beautiful, raging, noisy, dog dancing, rejecting, sleepy, sinking, greedy, voluptuous, detestable, and there is chronicling. Up next is the word brutal that I 100% know was added in, and then some things that should kind of help you more or less figure out a rough area of sort of strength for a server. I will warn you, these are a bit off as the server has leveled quite a few times, since they were put in, and the values have become somewhat distorted over time. But generally, lower number means weaker. So level 1, 2, 3, all the way up to level 10. And then we go in increments of 10 from level 10 to 20, all the way up to level 99 and 100. So if you want a really strong field, look there. Honestly, probably look around here as well. If you want a weaker field, this is more or less where you're looking. Again, we're starting with our default words of passed over, forbidden, haunted, corrupted, oblivious, eternal, smiling, momentary, despaired, moving into pagan, silent, distant, hopeless, primitive, gluttonous, hot-blooded, destroyer, solitary, someone's, her, laws, talisman, orange, organ market, agonizing, geothermal, golden, passionate, rusted, unending, and then into the monsters. Now, I've always assumed this is a monster concentration or density, although I suppose it could be a monster level rating, as I've never actually asked, because I sort of blank when it comes to conversations and forget questions like this when it's actually time to talk. Numbers, however, line up just like they did before, 1 through 10, then through the 10s, all the way to 100 with a pause at 99. C words are going to work in much the same way, starting with Aqua Field. We've got Aqua Field, Holy Ground, Sea of Sand, Fort Walls, Twin Hills, White Devil, Haifa, Spiral, Paradise, Fiery Sands, Great Seal, Fertile Land, Nothingness, Machina, Forest, Melody, Remnant, March, Giant, Touchstone, Sunny, Demon, Messenger, Scent, New Truth, Gate, Pilgrimage, Scaffold, Far Thunder, Tripansy, and Treasure Gem. No scaling words here for the C, as I believe these are just sort of setting your different field types. So there's level 6 Monster 99 Far Thunder, and as you can see, it's generating a level 19 field. If we go to Treasure Gem, we're still at 19. If we move up to level 10, we're up to level 23. So keep in mind that the values will be a little off, but it is still a useful measure for weaker fields or stronger. That's going to be our look here at the V's Place server, and now we're going to move on to the next. Gonna go a little out of order on this one. I'm gonna save Shining Darkness for last here, and you'll quickly understand why once I get into it. But I do want to hit Black Sky first, hosted by Crimson. This has been in the semi-regular appearing. Every now and then you'll catch it when you're online. But it is a fairly classic server, at least within the time I've played, so the past couple years. Mac Anu is our root town here, and I just love Mac Anu, so it's good to be back here. Of course, this is the beginning root town, so as we hear that water starting to come in, you're going to get the bare bones out of the item shop. It's going to be the exact same items as you got in Dunloriag: Health Drink, Mage's Soul, Antidote, Restorative, and the whole way down the list. Item storage over on that left-hand side as we cross this great bridge in the middle. Head down by where there is some boat docking. Got a weapon shop that provides the most basic of basics in weapons and armor. Got some amateur blades. Even have a death touch weapon here for twin blades in the assassin. Got the basic sword, Mizuchi, and adventurer. For a heavy blade to go with Kikuichi Monji and Earth Sword. Of course, you've got a whole ton of options here. You've also got some very basic gear as far as this goes. I believe it's all level 1 light items, just in case you don't have an item spot filled out. Anybody can come here and just pick this stuff up for cheap. Not the most terribly useful weapon shop of all time, but it's also a place you could sell low-level items, so there is that. Magic Store is going to give you your speed charms, some light crosses, of course the Warriors, Knights, Hunters, Banes, that will come useful in preceding levels, and some level 1 scrolls in case you're having problems hitting enemies with physical attacks. or in case you know they're weak to certain elements and you could just pop the scrolls. This, of course, in Infection, is the cutscene alley where you meet Mia and Elk for the first time, and apologies for the spoiler if you were just getting to that now. Still my favorite place in the town. Of course, in offline mode, you will still have your permanently placed revolving door set of 3 NPCs right in this area. So if you're looking for trades, you know there's always 3 extra NPCs right there, along with everyone running through what is a fairly bustling root town. Make our way back over the bridge here to check out the keywords. And when we look at the keywords, you'll see they are the default keywords. We start with bursting, move through putrid, chronicling, pathetic, obedient, resonant, crack, mysterious, dark, and quick. Maybe some of those aren't the default. Can't really remember at this point, but I'm willing to say they are not all the default. As I'm looking here, and apologies to Crimson for not realizing that sooner. We will start with passed over on the B words, move to primitive, passion, spirit, scheming, remnant, vindictive, mythical, level. Then we move to Aqua Field, melodic, tri-pansy, limit, mirror world, alchemy, fake castle, fort walls, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So if you're bursting level 12, you're at a level 7 light field. But if you're bursting level tri-pansy, it's a level 7 wood. Now you've got a little taste of the variety that can be offered here on Black Sky, and if you're ever just looking in general and want to see a rough overview of what it does, I can tell you there's nothing more fun than a simple just random word 3 or 4 times and see what levels you get. Here we've got a 5er. A level 14, a level 15, and that's a chronicling dungeon, and a level 15 that's not. So, just sort of gives you a little taste of some of the fields it could potentially generate. That is going to do it for our little look here at the Black Sky server. Unfortunately, no Fordoof servers at the point of this particular tour. You can find recovery drinks if a Fordoof server comes up online, the 800 hit point restorative items, as well as artisan souls. Can't really remember too much about the particular weapons and armor there, so I will apologize on that. The Shrimp server is a pseudo-clone of Crab. It started out as a Crab clone, Nekanosuke hosts it. And when it's up, it's actually a Fordoof root town, which is somewhat different. And there are a couple other differences too, but a fantastic server that started as a Crab clone and grew into very much its own thing, of course. Both that and Penguini not available for this particular tour at the moment, but do hope to see them again soon. And without further ado, our final server of the tour. Okay, folks. Here it is. Clearing my throat and entering the lobby for Shining Darkness. The Frowny Face server, the Ambush server, probably the server I've played the most on at this point in my fragment time. It's going to be a NetSlum / Leophile hosting, as you could see to the website Leophile /SD for all of the information you could possibly want or need on Shining Darkness as an area server. Thanks to Emus for making that available. Not even going to putz around with the shops or the looks or the different floor textures. You could hear them as you run through. We're going to get right into the keywords because, are there keywords. You may have noticed the little bar to show where you are on the list. Sometimes it's not even there. Sometimes it's kind of a large bar that moves up and down a little. And then you get to Shining Darkness and realize that is very much one of the diabolical plans of Emu's, the server host, to have the keywords maxed out in every section. Now it's time to read the A words. Bursting, putrid, hidden, chronicling, dolorous, obedient, cracked, vaguely, chosen, resonating, expansive, boundless, cruel, chatting, pulsating, closed, sickened, discovered, indiscreet, reincarnated, hideous, soft, plenteous, quiet, collapsed, dash, is. Morgana, unending, rocketing, burdening, emboldened, nans, lonely ones, lights, tubes, beefs, porks, veggies, tofus, jalapenos, habaneros, grumpies, ringos, moons, bonhams, silly sals, lazy bills, hiroshis, pyrrhoses, heavies, bobs, skates, inus, magus, fidels, gores, mahas, tarvos, corbenics, cubias, aperions, halbas, auras, Ralses, Chris, Susie's, Benders, Fries, Leela's, Brannigan's, Crazy Eddies, Madokas, Dios, Ricas, Noricos, CC Course, 2128's, Sands, Jeebles, Spamtons, Nortons, McAfee's, Thanos, Zappas, Monokumas, Despairs, Deaths, Pains, Scaries, Diablos, Sinful, Scornful, Ludicrous, Shameful, Downright, Passable, Futures, K-Rules, Kitties, Luigi's, Mario's, Koopas, Phantos, Donkeys, Ditties, Dixies, Sacred, Bald Pate, Black Swan, Scrub Turkey, Megapodidae, Bufflehead, Canada Goose, Cockerel, Dorking, Eater Duck, Golden Eye, Leghorn Hen, Mallard, Ruddy Duck, Shoveler, Whooper, Widgeon, Aurora Feather, Rainbow Tail, Psyche Vision, Double Dash. Kafukas, Challenging, Drunken, Silly, Well, Cursed, Buried, Lonely, Overloaded, Eenie, Under, Luminous, Gloomy, Nubilous, Waning, Drizzling, Deluging, Thunderous, Charging, Furious, Frosty, Illicit, Despicable, Call, Cheesy, Danger, 5-Minute, Engulfed, Gritastic, Bowling, Pine Fresh, Blunderful, Ryman, Lego My Buggy, Sludgy, Regulation, Greasy, Bomb, Same. That was the A words. Moving on to the B's. Passed over, primitive, forbidden, passionate, snarling, truth, soul, purgatorial, snaring, imprisoned, lifeless, hopeless, vindictive, mythical, my, loose, false, bloody, bounded, dark side, woodland, evil-eyed, faded, starving, dash, mode, bizarre, cockeyed, rewarding, failing, irritating, gruntled, frazzled, consecrated, impudent, impaled, impervious, toxic, Duncan, twirling, sloshed, knackered, little dude with a pitchfork, little dude who just don't know, little dude who's getting kind of mad, little dude who thinks you're number one, angry little dude who thinks you're number one. Word in Japanese. Super boss, pluming, grade A, F, censored. Big book of sweet, salty, spicy, sour, bitter, fatty, acidic, alkaline, necrotic, double dash. Weakened, puddles, haunted, eternal, gluttonous, hot-blooded, destroyers, solitary, orange, agonizing, geothermal, golden, socialist, worthless, meanie, lamenting, holy, last, hothead, red-hot, gritty, sizzling, bristly, shivering, slippery, jagged, sewed, murky, verdant, mechanized. The fantastic aged words was me, outrageous, holy, discount, bogo, wholesale, mondo, funky, gnarly, way cool, rebuffing, depressed, refuting, lengthy, filibustered, overstayed, blinding, divided, lightless, baked, soppy, fluidic, amped up, vaping, sealed, ice, pumpernickel, federated, questionable, cuckoo, fresh, stale, ouchy, bat, smoking hot, propanoate, grunge fest, dry, lost, synchronized, flurried, minty, eventual, inevitable, slidin', damp, vel, squishy, syrupy, trapped, fix-a-hole, revolving, baconated, flashy, electric, laminated, lemony, kooky, spooky, loopy, too many, spoopy, diggity, disco. That gets us through the B words. You know that point where the letters just start becoming a jumble in your head and the words just don't make any more sense? We're on to C's. Aqua field, holy ground, melting, inferno, sandpit, pyramid, thicket, scars, twins, core, tundra, glacier, boulders, expanse, quagmire, turf, machina, fallen angel, nothingness, melody, tripansy, limit, altar, mirror world, alchemy, murder house, fake castle, pure defense, sin realm, dash. Shindig, abstinence, Mordor, lollygagger, atonement, bananas, internment, scary door, soiree, truancy, enervation, moonlight, nor'easter, happy meal, silly meal, angry meal, deep fryer, tater tots, tryptophan, nopon, monsieur, grandpa, tuttle, witch, Maxwell, mimic, Menhir, lich, blue mimic, drill idol, kingworm, the guardian, Napoleon, Astraking, the bracelet, sunny D-sun, kissed, screwdriver, thin crust, pan, deep dish, McDouble, royale, Big Mac, demi, grande, venti, pixie sticks, peeps, candy, flush, junior whopper, double whopper, peasant, hoi polloi, farce, big shot, leisure domain, odd key, powder cake, meager, penniless, impoverished, despair, money no, salvation, Gouda, grinding, look here, double dash, singularity, cinch, mediocrity, supremacy, cream, coffee, Sandington gone, tool time, pine, sol, sittig, lost comb, Fort Walls, Haifa, spiral, paradise, fort, bull hockey, excavation, duel, Gardialoo, Twin Hills, White Devil, Fiery Sands, Great Seal, Fertile, Nothing, Demise, Gleaming, Moon, Grace, Expiration, Twilight, Fragment, Glutes, Shirley, Cheese, Abound, Club, Glory, Dusk, Ebony, Bank, Flow, Deluge, Tar, Zap, Coil, Blizzard, Aurora, Moe, Bubbles, Hot Plate, Playpen, Dust Bowl, Hazy Maze, Snowberg, Shimmer, Adrian, New Jersey, Mold Town, Allergy, Pink Floyd, Wasteland, Kiln, Hot Pocket, Quartz, Box, Brambles, White Tie, Black Ice, Crunchville, Nostalgia, Slime Climb, Tide Pods, Chamber, Channel, Time, Miney, and Turkey. Which brings us to bursting past over Aqua Field. This is a great full circle moment if you're familiar with Infection. This is a great moment for me because I've finally read the complete word list of Shining Darkness. If you'll excuse me, I'm not heading to this field. This has been a Grumpy Old Guy Gaming. Thank you for watching. Take care. We'll see you around.